Hello, so this week I'm in my London flat where I have an underground parking space with no ability to charge from home. Now, you may think that buying an electric car is probably not a good idea if you can't charge from home, and you'd probably be right, to be honest. But I am in the process of letting this place out to buy a house where I will have some off-street parking and therefore the ability to charge from home. But in the meantime, my closest supercharger is about 30 minutes away, so it's more convenient for me to use a third-party charger, of which there are a few around here and one reasonably fast one just down the road. So I thought this was a good opportunity to go through how they work and just how easy it is to use a third-party one if a Tesla One or home charging is not available. As always, if you're finding this video helpful, please hit the like button below, and if you like the series as a whole and like to see more, then also please subscribe. Right, let's go take a look. Okay, so to start with, I generally use Zap Map to find and locate third-party chargers. On this map, you'll see the purple chargers are the fastest ones, 50 kilowatts and above, then blue, all the way down to yellow being basically like plugging in at home. Now, there are a whole host of providers for third-party chargers, but today I'm just going to go over one that's available with a contactless payment without any need for a membership. So the most convenient fast charger to me is this one in the car park. So you can see here that this one's run by Polar, and you can also see under the payment section that there are two different prices listed, one if you're a Plus member of Polar, and the other one if you're just paying by contactless. And these prices are a little out of date, so don't take as read what you've seen on the Zap Map app. Now you can just send this location to Google Maps, and then once it opens in Google Maps, you can send it to the car by using the share icon in Google Maps on the bottom. Okay, so then it's as simple really as opening up the charge port. And then on the screen you can see the price is listed there as 30 pence per kilowatt hour. Now to start on this machine you just need to tap your contactless card on the larger contactless area below. And then once it's checked your card, it asks you to tap it onto the payment section. Now the way this actually works is that it will take £15 immediately from you, and then it will refund the difference at the end depending on what you've spent. So you can just see there it's processing the card. And once it says card accepted, you can then choose which of the chargers you want to use. Obviously I'm going to go for the CCS charger. And then you get the message to connect your vehicle. Now by this point the charger had closed, so you can just give it a tap to open it back up again. And then you get the usual blue Tesla sign while it's checking everything. And back on the screen, once it's done its checks, it will start listing that it's charging. Obviously, you'll also get the green Tesla T now that that's in full flow. Back in the car, you can see that the charge rate we're getting is about 41 kilowatts, which translates to around 160, 170 miles an hour. I'm just going to move this down from the 90% to the 80%. And the charging has now gone from 30 minutes to 20 minutes. So basically all there is to do now is wait. So you can see here that the charge rate remains at that sort of 40 kilowatt level until the charge percentage gets up past around 73%. At that point it does start dropping down, and that's mainly down to the fact that as you fill up the battery, the later sections are harder to fill up, so they take longer. You can see by the end we're down at nearly 30 kilowatts, and it stays pretty much at that until the 80%. And when you're finished, it's just a case of tapping your card again and unplugging the car. You can see here that I've got about 18.5 kilowatt hours of energy in 25 minutes for £5.55. Okay, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Another short video, but hopefully that serves to show you just how easy it is to use a third-party charger if you need to. If you've got any comments, questions or suggestions as to what you'd like to see in future weeks, then please put that down below. I will 100% get back to you. Other than that, I'll catch you later.